And now this is starting off number 26. In goal is the second, number 0, Indira Estrada. Number 5, Emily Galvin. Number 10, Alexis American. Number 12, Claudia Hernandez. Number 15, Lindsay Mendez. Number 16, Allison Char. Number 17, Anna Jaculia. Number 19, Lindsay Corona. Number 20, Natalie Salgado. Number 27, Grace Yellow. And number 30, Kelly Ibrahim.
Good evening from Joliet, Illinois. We're live at Joliet Memorial Stadium, where the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints will take on Governors State University in a CCAC soccer matchup. Welcome to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call today as the Saints try to improve their record on the season to 7-1, trying to make it back-to-back wins after a very exciting 3-2 victory right here at home over the weekend against Roosevelt. The Saints and the Jaguars are on the field getting set to begin today's contest. University of St. Francis is in white, and they stand at the left side of your screen right now. They'll be going from left to right in the first half and shooting into the goal on the south side of the stadium. The Jaguars are in their Halloween uniforms of orange tops and black bottoms with the black numbers. They're going from right to left, and they'll be shooting into the north side for the first half of today's games. Two teams that come in red hot in the CCAC play, and both teams trying to pick up another victory to add to their total as they both look to make it into the top half of the standings here in conference play this year. St. Francis takes the opening kick. The Fighting Saints 3-1 in conference play so far this year. They currently sit in fourth place with 9 points, but they've played one fewer game than many of the teams in the conference. Governor State is 2-3 overall in the CCAC. So that means a win today for them would tie them with St. Francis and a few other teams with 9 points. As that ball is sent out of bounds, we'll get a goal kick here for Governor State. St. Francis took their only loss of the season last Wednesday, a 1-0 defeat at Holy Cross out in Indiana. They were able to get back on the winning track over the weekend on Saturday. An exciting 1-goal victory over Roosevelt. So they were not hampered too much by their first loss, and now they'll try to stay hot today as Governor State tries to mount their first possession of the game. St. Francis is able to halt it, so the Jaguars have not been able to get the ball to the attacking side of the field yet. Let's review the starting lineups for today's game. Governor State has Naomi Gallardo, Eileen Gallardo, Jillian Basili, Rebecca Mercado, Ursula Bravo, Zoe Langlois, Daisy Bonilla, Kara Graham, Anissa Pazmino, and Avery Damjanovic among their starting 10, along with goalkeeper Eden Suda. She has been a hot keeper in net, 2 consecutive shutouts for Eden Suda. She's got 3 shutouts overall on the season. In 6 starts, she's allowed 8 goals, a 1.7 goal per game average allowed, as St. Francis is able to clear this chance for Governor State. Tapped off towards the sideline. They'll make their way down the far side of the field, only briefly though, as Governor State's able to take it back. Eden Suda this year has made 21 saves. She's got a .724 save percentage on the season, and this is the team for St. Francis going up against Suda and the Jaguars today. It's Emily Galvin, Alexis Mariquin, Claudia Hernandez, Litzy Mendez. There's a run into the box for Litzy Corona. Corona takes the shot, and it's scooped up by Eden Suda. No problem for Suda as she makes her first save of the game. Litzy Corona's in the lineup, as you may have just mentioned, or you may have just heard. Litzy Mendez, Allison Shar, Anna Jakubiak, Grace Giallo, and Kelly Piotrowski. That's your starting 10 on the field, along with the goalkeeper, Yadira Estrada. Estrada's been very good in net for the Fighting Saints this season. The senior has allowed 3 goals in 6 games. That's a .5 average. 18 saves on the season. She's got 3 shutouts and has actually combined with Ellie Provo on 2 others. So St. Francis has 5 total shutouts among the 7 games they've played this year. And Estrada has saved 85.7% of the shots she's faced on the season. No need for a save here as she gets the pass from Piotrowski, kicks it out to her left where it's intercepted by Governor State. Now the Jaguars will try to make a move. Nice stop right there though by the Saints. Anna Jakubiak able to knock it away. Ball goes harmlessly back into the box on the deflection, and it's picked up on a couple of hops by Yadira Estrada. We're about 3.5 minutes into the game here. No score yet. St. Francis and Governor State. The Jaguars have been able to hold possession for the last few moments, but St. Francis looks to get it back as they move into the attacking zone. Litzy Corona tries to chase that ball down, but it goes out of bounds. And we'll get a throw in here. Corona took the game's first shot on goal a couple of minutes ago. She is the team leader in goals scored at 11. She ranks 5th in the nation in goals scored, and she's 2nd in number of shots taken. So she'll presumably get her chances today. She's already had 1. Here's Litzy Mendez. The ball tackled off of her foot. Mendez trying to get it back, and she does. Good aggressive defensive play by Mendez as she rolls it to Allison Shar on her right. Sent through for Alexis Mariquin. Can she chase this down in time? She cannot. It's tapped out of bounds by St. Francis. We've got a goal kick coming up for Governor State. Aggressive play by the Fighting Saints there as they try to force the issue on Governor State early on. Again, they've got the only shot on goal so far in this match, and a couple of other runs right there as they try to put the ball quickly down into Governor State territory. They get it back in Governor State territory. Try to move into the attacking third of the field right here as they play the ball at midfield. This is Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez looks to the middle. There's the cross, trying to find Litzy Corona coming towards the net, but it was intercepted. Nice defense by Governor State, and the Saints get it right back. It's Natalie Salgado. Salgado is forced off the ball. Good defense there from Zoe Langlois. And here come the Jaguars, although their attack is slowed down almost immediately as the ball is sent to the sideline and out of bounds. Throw-in coming up here for the Fighting Saints. Third meeting all time between these two schools, St. Francis and Governor State. Each side has won one. Last season, it was Governor State coming out on top, so the Saints will try to avenge that loss today. 3-2 was the final score here back in March, an early March meeting between these two schools. A rare March meeting. The season, of course, last year was moved into the spring, back to the usual schedule this season. And last March, when Governor State beat St. Francis, like today, it was the sixth conference match of the season, or rather the fifth conference match of the season for St. Francis. It's the fifth again this year for St. Francis, the sixth for Governor State as Alexis Mariquin tries to take it away. Sent off towards the sideline. Saints get it back. Here's Allison Shar. Shar into the middle of the field. Taken back by Governor State, and the Jaguars are able to clear it. It's a big kick downfield from Daisy Bonilla, freshman out of Morton High School. Interception by the Saints. Here's Litzy Mendez. Mendez to her left, taken away by Governor State and cleared by Eileen Gallardo. Last year, playing their fifth conference match of the season against Governor State, the Saints fell 3-2, and that loss dropped them to 0-5 in conference play as a foul is called here on the Fighting Saints. A win today would move them to 4-1 in the conference. So amazing sometimes, not only what a difference a year can make, but even half a year. In this case, moving from spring to fall. Last March, 0-5 in conference, and this September now a chance to move to 5-0. Their last match in the month of September. There's the free kick into the box, taken away by the Fighting Saints. Anna Jakubiak sends it off towards the sideline, and the Saints are able to get it out of harm's way. Alexis Mariquin pushes it downfield, looking for Claudia Hernandez. She had Hernandez, but Hernandez lost it out of bounds. Good close-in defense by Ursula Bravo, who was able to get that and force Hernandez out. Bravo is the reigning CCAC Defensive Player of the Week. And another good defensive play from her right there this week. Big kick downfield for Governor State. Nobody there wearing orange. So the Saints watch it drift out of bounds. It goes out along the sideline down near the corner. So the Fighting Saints throw it in, and they quickly send it to the other side of the field, working their way down the far sideline now. Natalie Salgado went out of bounds before she could get that kick downfield. She couldn't save it from going over the line. Governor State throw in. They'll get another one right here. Zoe Langlois is putting the ball back in play on the throw here. Langlois hurls it into the box, knocked away by Allison Shar towards the sideline, and downfield about 15 yards or so. Governor State will throw it in again. Into the box, deflected out of bounds by Kelly Piotrowski, and this time it's deflected out the back line. We'll get a corner kick. So this has been the state of the game over the last minute. Governor State has pushed it further and further downfield, and St. Francis keeps knocking it out until finally they ran out of room and knocked it out the back. So the throw-in becomes a corner kick now, right in front of the net. It's deflected by a Jaguar to the backside. A shot and a save by Yadira Estrada. Nice save by Estrada on a good shot from Governor State, following the deflection on the corner kick. That shot was taken by Jillian Basili, and Basili comes up empty. Basili was looking for her first goal of the season. But Yadira Estrada makes her first save of the night. And now here come the Jaguars again, this time a little bit faster than they wanted to come. It's knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. We'll get another corner kick here. Our second of the game, our second of the last minute or so for Governor State. Just over 10 minutes into the action here. No score. The Jaguars have an opportunity to change that right here. There's the corner kick, headed in front of the net and out of bounds. Looked like Zoe Langlois who got her head on that ball and knocked it a little bit too far off to the right, to her right. Missed the post and sent it out of bounds. St. Francis plays the goal kick short. They remain tied 0-0. Saints had a couple of early chances. One shot on goal from Litzy Corona that was saved by Eden Suda. Lately, though, it's been Governor State on the offensive. The Jaguars have had a few chances stifled. One of them by Yadira Estrada, another that went out of bounds on the header. But back-to-back corner kicks for Governor State, and they've been able to get relatively clean shots out of both corner kicks. So the Saints would do well to keep it away from that out-of-bounds line on the back side of the field. Governor State takes it away. It's Daisy Bonilla pushing off to the right side, cleared by St. Francis. Back into the attacking third of the field. Litzy Corona against three defenders is somehow able to come away with possession of the ball. Now Corona sets it up off to the right to Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin turns and passes to her left, intercepted and knocked away. Good defensive play by Naomi Gallardo. Out of bounds for a St. Francis throw. Dribbled into the box on the throw-in, and Gallardo turns and kicks it straight back out of bounds along the sideline near that corner. And similar to where we were on the other side of the field just a few moments ago, the Saints are inch by inch moving down the field and knocking the ball out of bounds, or rather the defense is knocking it out. There's a cross over the net and out of bounds, this time for a goal kick. So the Saints come up empty on that trip down the field. Not necessarily over just yet. We'll see where Eden Suda goes on this goal kick. She backs up for a good running start and sends that line drive about 15 yards short of midfield, deflected right back by the Fighting Saints and right back where that last ball came from. So we've got another goal kick here for Suda. Eden Suda, back-to-back shutouts her last two games against St. Xavier and Indiana Northwest. The Jaguars won those two by a combined score of 4-0, and it was not the heaviest portion of their schedule so far after starting out 0-3 in conference, as the Saints knocked that ball out of bounds. Jaguars get a throw in here. They came into that two-game stretch last week 0-3 in CCAC play, but they got to play back-to-back teams who have not yet won a conference game. Neither St. Xavier nor Indiana Northwest has found a point in conference games yet. Ball into the middle of the field, and the Jaguars defense is able to get to it. They slow it down and now work on the clearance. Allison Shar keeping the pressure on, and finally Ursula Bravo hits it high in the air down towards midfield, where it's knocked out of bounds for a St. Francis throw. So you can say that Governor State took advantage of a light schedule last week in winning back-to-back games with back-to-back shutouts, but that's not really the important thing. The important thing is that they got the wins, and now they're trying to carry that momentum over into this game against a team that has been one of the best in the conference so far this year, not just in conference play. St. Francis is 3-1 in the CCAC, but they're 3-0 with 3 shutouts outside the conference too. Here's Litzy Mendez. Mendez passes off to the left. Set up for Natalie Salgado. There's the cross from Salgado. And couldn't direct it where she wanted to. Out of bounds for a goal kick for Governor State. Jaguars beat St. Xavier 1-0. They took on Indiana Northwest. 3-0 was the final score there. That's a nice score. You'll never complain about 3-0. St. Francis beat Indiana Northwest 10-0. But even though that Governor State game was a lot closer by score, it was probably a little bit more lopsided than that score would indicate. They outshot Indiana Northwest in that game 40-2. So Eden Suda did pick up her 2nd consecutive shutout, but only 1 save was made in that game. Just 1 shot on goal for Indiana Northwest. Here comes Governor State. It's Anissa Pazmino. Pazmino working her way to the far sideline. And a little bit of a shoulder shove right there. Free kick coming up following the St. Francis foul. Governor State's free kick is away, going to the back side of the net. And Anna Jakubiak watches it go out of bounds. Goal kick here for St. Francis. Fighting Saints went 5 games this year to open the season without allowing a goal. They've allowed 3 now in their last 2 matches. One of those was still a win. In fact, the game on Saturday they allowed 2 goals. First time this year they've allowed more than 1, and they still got a win out of it, so they came out of it feeling pretty good. They've got a shutout going early in this one, but so does Governor State. 16.5 minutes into play. Ball sent into the box. Grace Giallo is able to get in front of it, and Kelly Piotrowski clears it as Avery Damjanovic tried to make a run at the net. Good defense by Giallo, making sure Damjanovic couldn't get to the ball. And Piotrowski does what she needs to do as well to knock it out of bounds. That ball thrown in off the head of Piotrowski, deflected right back to Jillian Basili. Basili sends it into the box, and Piotrowski clears it out of bounds again. Same spot that Governor State threw it in a moment ago. Basili will do it again. And again, she sends it in near Kelly Piotrowski. This time Governor State's able to control it, but not for long. An interception from Allison Schar. Schar sends it downfield looking for Corona, and it's intercepted. Taken right back by St. Francis. Here's Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez along the near side sends it into the middle for Schar, just a few inches out of Schar's reach. Taken away by Governor State. Schar tries to take it back to no avail. Here come the Jaguars on the move. Pushed up into the air to Damjanovic along the left side. Taking it into the corner, Damjanovic looks for the cross. Piotrowski had it sniffed out. An easy clearance for Kelly Piotrowski off of Avery Damjanovic's cross. And here come the Saints. Allison Schar makes her way to the far side of the field. She's got Salgado out in front of her, trying to get it to Salgado, and knocked off course by Governor State. Saints get it back as their run is halted, but they'll get another chance here. It's Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez taps it ahead for Allison Schar. Schar takes the shot and drifts it a little bit wide to the right. Deflected out of bounds. We've got a corner kick coming up here for the Fighting Saints. Good looking shot from Allison Schar, but just enough of a deflection there from Governor State to push it off course. And for the first time today, the Fighting Saints get to try their hand at a corner kick. Ball goes in towards the back post and sails over the back post. Still in play for St. Francis, but knocked out of bounds by the team in white. So we've got a goal kick here. Allison Schar got a shot off there on that trip down the field, and that was her first of the game. She scored a goal on Saturday against Roosevelt. Schar ranks second on the team in goals and points. She leads the team in assists, had a couple of them on Saturday, so she had a goal and 2 assists in that match. Knocked out of bounds off the head of Litzy Mendez. Throw in here for Governor State. Tossed into midfield, headed by Damjanovic. Into the middle of the field, it's Anissa Pezmino. Pezmino passes it into the circle at midfield. Allison Shar makes a run, gets in front of the Governor State offense, passed off to the side by Daisy Bonilla. There's an interception by Grace Giallo, and Litzy Mendez works her way down the field for the Fighting Saints. Mendez across midfield, 2 orange shirts get in the way. Ursula Bravo takes it back for the Jaguars. Bravo from the defense makes her way between a couple of defenders, keeps it alive for Governor State, but she hits it out of bounds. So Ursula Bravo went a long way there, weathered several attacks from St. Francis defenders, kept it alive for a while, but not long enough to get a shot off. Saints take the ball back in the other direction. It's Claudia Hernandez, tackled off the ball, sent into the box. Here's a run for Damjanovic, and she's offsides. I think that was Pezmino who had the initial challenge on the ball, who took possession for Governor State. But her pass ahead to Damjanovic was just a little bit too far out in front of the sophomore from Florida. And it sets up the goal kick for St. Francis, which makes its way to midfield and is stopped there. Pass straight ahead. Tap to the right side. Now a ball sent into the box. Yadira Estrada steps up, plays it on 1 bounce. No dice that time for Governor State. They've done a good job, though, of applying pressure to St. Francis. They've been able to stop any St. Francis attacks and push the ball to this side of the field pretty frequently. It's been a very evenly played first half of the first half. Daisy Bonilla is taken to the ground. Free kick coming up from just ahead of midfield for Governor State. Ursula Bravo, senior transfer from Morton College, takes the free kick, hits it into the box. It's deflected by Giallo out of bounds. Look at a corner kick. There's just a miss hit there by Giallo. That's not what the Saints wanted. Governor State really didn't have anybody there to take a shot. The Saints had been able to just control it and send it downfield. They would have been out of trouble, at least for the time being. Instead, Giallo hit it off the side of her foot, knocked it out of bounds, and that sets up the corner kick. Ball is sent in right in front of the net and knocked away just before it got to Yadira Estrada. Saints defense holds up. Litzy Mendez into the middle, nobody there. Intercepted by the Jaguars. Rebecca Mercado knocks it back. There's Bonilla, cross field, and Emily Galvin gets her head on the ball to take it away for the Fighting Saints. Here's Allison Shar. Shar works her way around a couple of defenders. Now a big ball downfield for Mendez. Too much heat on that one. It goes out towards the corner, and that's a throw-in. Went out the side, just barely in front of the flag, down in the corner. Throw in for Governor State. They'll have to go the long way in trying to clear this ball out of their territory. Headed by Mendez, back behind her. Tapped ahead by Jakubiak, and an awkward kick by Governor State out of bounds. Tough play there by Kara Graham. She tried to clear it, and she hit it off the side of her foot. Keeping possession alive for St. Francis. Knocked out of bounds. We're going to get a corner kick here. Bravo jumped in front of Eden Suda there. Suda looks just a tad annoyed. She was in position to make that catch and then just punted away, but Bravo stepped in front of her just before the ball came, and that set up the corner kick. So the ball is positioned in the corner, sent in right to the backside, deflected in front of the net, poked into the air, knocked away by Governor State. Saints trying to get it back, but Corona not able to get full possession. Governor State kicks it away again, and the Jaguars make their way downfield. Galvin tries to clear it, deflected back by Damjanovic, and Galvin recovers. Galvin sends it back to Yadira Estrada, and Estrada boots it downfield. Good chance for Governor State, thwarted once again by the St. Francis defense. Approaching 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Still no score. As I was saying a moment ago, it's been very evenly matched thus far. Neither team has had a decided advantage. Both teams have had a few opportunities. None of them have looked too enticing, including this one right here. Giallo back to Piotrowski, and Yadira Estrada will send it away from the goalkeeper's box once again. Here's Hernandez trying to move her way to her left. Sent downfield by St. Francis. Corona pushes it to the outside, and Salgado deflected ahead towards the back line and out of bounds. We'll get a corner kick here for St. Francis. Eden Suda tried to chase that ball down. Didn't get there in enough time though, because it did go off of her team. That's why she was in such a hurry to try to get there. But it ends up as a corner kick. Saints play it short. And a long shot is off the mark and out of bounds from Natalie Salgado. Goal kick coming for Governor State as the Saints make their first substitution of the game. Lauren Pekulski comes in and Claudia Hernandez heads out. No score in a well-played first half. Both teams have been very strong defensively, not just today, but throughout this season as that ball goes out of bounds. Lately anyway, for Governor State, they've averaged to allow about 2.4 goals per game, but they've got shutouts in back-to-back contests. St. Francis has kind of gone in the opposite direction. They've had one of the best defenses in the nation, but have allowed goals in back-to-back contests now for the first time. So St. Francis is looking to get back to their old form today, where Governor State is trying to stay on the roll that they've been on the last week. And so far, it has played out like you'd expect, between one team that's had a great defense all year and another that's had one of the hottest defenses around. Litzy Corona trying to create a chance for herself right here. She is defended well though. Nowhere to go with it. Gallardo comes up with the stop. Corona gets it back. Corona taps it back to Salgado. Or rather Mendez, sorry. Mendez looks to her left, and there's Salgado. Natalie Salgado downfield rolls it into the hands of the goalkeeper, Suda. Litzy Corona has just the one opportunity so far today. Governor State has done a good job thus far of neutralizing her. She is averaging about 8 shots per game. Those numbers are inflated a little bit by a couple of huge games. There are 3 games this year at Cleary, at Indiana Northwest, and at home against Indiana South Bend, in which the Saints have scored a grand total of 30 goals in those 3 games. You take those 3 away, been a little bit slower moving offensively. Lauren Pekulski runs right into the defender, Kara Graham, and Graham does her job knocking it away. Now Damjanovic tries to take it down the other direction. Damjanovic into the middle of the field, rolls it back, and passes off towards the near sideline. Out of bounds, Jillian Basili lost her footing there, kind of stumbled over the ball. And that creates the throw in for St. Francis. I was saying Corona averages about 8 shots per game. She's got just 1 so far today. Saints as a team have averaged so far this year about 25 shots per game. There's one right here, and it's out of bounds off to the right from Salgado. Or rather, Mendez. So still 0-0. About 25 shots per game for the Fighting Saints, which is a good number, but anybody can take a lot of shots just by aiming wildly. They've also averaged 12 shots on goal per game, so they've been good shots by and large. And they're coming off of a good offensive day against a good defensive team. They beat Roosevelt 3-2 on Saturday, and Roosevelt is not accustomed to giving up 3 goals per game in conference play. So the Saints try to carry that offensive momentum over to today, but so far nothing doing. The defense has been good, though, for the Fighting Saints. Defense has been good for both sides. Saints defense will try to step up again right here as Governor State works on a run down the sideline. A whistle blows, and we're going the other way. Offsides, I think, against Governor State. Here come the Saints to the near side. Jakubiak ahead to Shar. Allison Shar tries to keep it alive, but she ends up knocking it out of bounds. Governor State throw in. Headed out to midfield, and that one went right back out of bounds. Here's Jakubiak's throw, headed by Pokolsky. Can't get it into the middle of the field. Governor State sends it out of bounds. Jakubiak tries again, headed right back out. Again, the Fighting Saints just inching their way down the field. Now finally Governor State keeps it in, but loses possession. Pokolsky to Mendez, back to Grace Giallo, who sets things up on the defensive end. Kelly Piotrowski out to the left. This is Galvin. Saints, for a moment, we're playing with just 3 back defenders. Jakubiak returns to make it a foursome back there. Headed by Salgado out of bounds. 13 minutes to play in the first half. And we've got no score. A very narrowly contested match so far. This has been the standard for the Fighting Saints, especially lately. Their last 2 games have been just like this. Both of them decided by 1 goal in the end. Both of them very tight and very defensive in the first half. There's the cross for the Jaguars, and a little bit behind the intended target. Here comes Shar. Off to Jakubiak, right side. Now Lauren Pokolsky. Into the corner. Corona keeps it alive. It's knocked off of her foot and out of bounds along the sideline. We've got a St. Francis throw-in coming up. Good defense there by Eileen Gallardo. Ball's thrown into the box and deflected out the back line for a corner kick. Beautiful night here in Joliet. Perfect conditions for soccer. Good game so far. Good crowd out here to take it in. In front of the net. Under the foot of Shar. On the second attempt. Just over the net. And out of bounds. That second attempt came from Alexis Mariquin. Her shot ends up out of bounds. Then Governor State gets the goal kick out of it. Nice attempt, though, from Mariquin. There's the goal kick into the middle of the field. Brianna Bembenek just into the game. First one to control it, sent off to the near sideline, and Damjanovic. Tapped out of bounds by the Saints. Jillian Basili throws it behind her. See what Governor State's got cooking right here into the box. Giallo is able to get in the way of Bembenek. Nice play by Giallo. She forced Brianna Bembenek to slow down. Bembenek tried to push her way through and didn't make it. Here's Corona in the midfield circle. Passing off to Jakubiak on the right side. Jakubiak right back to the middle of the field. Here's Litzy Mendez setting it all up. To the back line once again at midfield. Governor State's defense not giving up an inch. Galvin turns it upfield, tapping it towards the sideline. And forced out of bounds by St. Francis. Lobbed in on the sideline, headed right back out by the Fighting Saints. Another throw-in coming up here for Governor State. Once that ball is chased down. Gallardo's got it as she returns to the field. And tosses it in. Yeah, it goes right back out. This time it's out on Governor State, so St. Francis throws in behind them to the back line. And they've got a substitute before that throw-in. They bring in Alexa Valencia Corona. Valencia Corona is in. Mendez is out as the Saints continue these final 9 minutes. Piotrowski to her right. From Giallo to Jakubiak. Slices down the middle of the field. And the Saints can't keep it alive. Here's Allison Shar getting it back though, right at midfield. Shar turns it upfield. Looks in all directions, directing Pokulski down in front of her. Now she finds Pokulski, and it's knocked away by Governor State. Good defense. Grace Giallo trying for some good defense. Knocks it out of bounds. Got to that ball well, preventing Demjanovic from getting there. Hunter Ledesma tosses it in. Jakubiak clears it, but right in front of the net. A shot goes wide from Zoe Langlois. Langlois tried it from the edge of the box. Not a lot on that shot. It ended up going well wide to the left. Out of bounds. 7.5 minutes to play, first half. We've got no score. That went off the foot of Bravo. Bravo trying to chase it down to make up for her mistake, but she can't get there first. Instead, Salgado gets there first and just taps it weakly into the hands of Eden Suda. No problem for Governor State there. To the right side, it's Lauren Pokulski. Pokulski passes it back to her left in the middle of the field. Litzy Corona has it intercepted. Saints get it back. It's Corona. Corona looks to her left on the outside, finds Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin's cross in front of the net, headed to the back line and out of bounds. The header goes out from Alexa Valencia Corona. Nice idea, nice setup by Mariquin. A nice try by Valencia Corona. Just didn't put it exactly where she wanted it to. At midfield, Saints get it back and they allow their defense to set up this attack. Getting late in the first half, but there's still plenty of time to put up a goal or two before both teams have to take a break. For both sides lately, defense hasn't been the problem. Offense occasionally has. Flames, though, are coming off of one of their higher goal-scoring games of the season. Second highest in conference play. to the far sideline. USF is on the move. Deflected off that kick. Stays in bounds. Sent up into the air by the Fighting Saints. And knocked away. Saints get it back. Piotrowski to her right. That's intercepted. Governor State tries to set it up. Damjanovic works her way back behind midfield. Passes back to the defense. And there's the kick from Kara Graham. Sent back into the middle of the field. Damjanovic. Damjanovic, one touch. And loses it off that first touch. Good defense. Kelly Piotrowski clears towards the sideline. And still in bounds. Another chance here for Governor State. And again, Piotrowski steps in the way. This time it's cleared across midfield and in bounds, but knocked right back out. So Governor State will get another throw in and back on the other side of midfield again. That bounces past the back line. That's out of bounds. And we'll finally get, I was going to say we'll finally get a goal kick here, but that was off of St. Francis apparently, so we get another corner kick. They've been good creating chances on corner kicks so far. Well, this is just a throw-in though, sorry. Just a throw-in along the sideline. There's a shot, and Yadira Estrada falls on top of it. So it was a throw-in, not a corner kick, but even on the throw they were able to get an opportunity going. Estrada makes a lunging stop. Nice play by Yadira Estrada. We're still scoreless. Final few minutes of the first half. Can either team get a little energy boost before the break? Estrada right down the middle of the field, over the head of Corona to Valencia Corona. She can't maintain possession. Governor State takes it away and gives it right back up. Here's Litzy Corona. Allison Shar now. Shar passes to her right where she's got Jakubiak. Jakubiak back to Shar trying to set it up. One defender in her way. Passes in front of her to Litzy Corona. Deflected away from Corona and chased down by Natalie Salgado. Salgado back behind midfield. Saints still have possession of the ball, but they've got to reestablish the other side of the field. Try to reestablish this attack. Here's Piotrowski. Rolled through a couple of defenders to Pekalski. Pekalski out to Jakubiak, and Anna Jakubiak's shot from nearly 50 yards out is stopped pretty easily on one hop in the net by Eden Suda. It's a rare shot from Anna Jakubiak. In fact, it's the first one she's taken this year. It was easily saved by Governor State. They're back to midfield now as Yadira Estrada meets this ball halfway as it comes into the box, and now out of the box. She does not end up meeting it halfway. She ends up just letting it go out. It's a throw-in for her teammates. Substitution for St. Francis here. In the final minute plus of the first half, Haley Bartlaga comes on. Natalie Salgado will get an extra minute and a half of rest before halftime. Going back St. Francis's way on the whistle there. This one is played short by Kelly Piotrowski. Piotrowski back to Estrada. Estrada rolls it to the other end. Final minute of play. No score late in the first half. Can Governor State get on the board? They've got the ball right now. Gallardo on the far side, deflected back to the sideline. Flames take it, the Fighting Saints take it away. Out of bounds, tossed into Valencia Corona. Now just 30 seconds to play in the half. Governor State back to the attacking third of the field, and the Jaguars will try to get the final shot of the half here, but instead, ball is tapped back to Yadira Estrada, who quickly sends it the other way, but out of bounds. So Governor State, if they get this throw in quickly, may have a chance to develop one last shot here. One last attempt at breaking the shutout before halftime. Instead, the ball's knocked out of bounds, and that should be the end of the half. Looks like there's not a serious interest to get the ball back in bounds here, so the buzzer sounds, and we are done with the first 45 minutes of play. Good entertaining first 45 minutes. Both teams played well, and both teams had a few opportunities, but in an evenly matched game so far, not a surprise, it is even on the scoreboard. 0-0 at halftime. We'll have second half action for you in just about 15 minutes. 45 minutes still to play. 0-0. St. Francis and Governor State. Halftime in Joliet just about expired. We're ready to start half number 2. The University of St. Francis taking on Governors State University in today's CCAC soccer matchup. No advantage on the board right now. Neither team has scored. It's been a good defensive game. Both teams have had a couple of good chances to score. Governors State, for the most part, has generated their chances off of corner kicks, but the Saints have been able to come up with the big stops when they've needed them. A couple of good plays from Yadira Estrada in net. As the two teams, of course, have reversed sides here in the second half. Governors State has taken the opening kick of this half. They're moving from left to right. St. Francis in white jerseys moving from right to left, and St. Francis gets their first touch of the second half. Off on the right side of the field, it's Allison Shar. Shar works her way back to the middle. Passes ahead, looking for Alexis Mariquin. Couldn't weave it through. It is stopped by the Governors State defense, knocked towards the sideline. And off the head of Natalie Salgado, it ricochets out of bounds. It'll be a Governors State throw-in here. Fighting Saints had a few chances early. A couple of other opportunities presented themselves as the first half went on. But all in all, it was a good defensive half. The goalkeepers didn't need to star. Both keepers made a few saves, but nothing too spectacular. The two defenses did their jobs, and the game was played more than anything else in the midfield. Very evenly matched through the first 45 minutes of play. We'll see if either team is able to establish themselves as the superior here in the second half. Good tackle by Litzy Mendez to take possession back for St. Francis. And here come the Fighting Saints, working it to the far sideline. Jakubiak sends it down that sideline, and it's deflected out of bounds by Governors State. Throw in here for the Saints. Second straight home game here for St. Francis. They're trying to wrap up a 2-0 homestand before they head on the road for their next two after today. Looking to pick up their 10th, 11th, and 12th points in conference play. Remember, I mentioned this earlier. Last season, they played Governors State in the 5th game of the conference schedule, and they lost. And it dropped them to 0-5. So at very least, even a loss today against Governors State would be the same result as they had in their 5th conference game last year, but they would be 3 games better off in the standings than they were last season when that happened. A win, of course, would give them a 4-game advantage over last year's pace. Deflected back towards the midfield circle, knocked into the air by the Jaguars. Towards the sideline, Salgado trying to play that. Salgado battling with Brianna Bembenek, and Salgado knocked it out. Or Bembenek knocked it out, rather. Salgado lost her armband in the process. So before she throws it in, she makes sure everyone is aware of her captainship. She gets it back on the left arm, and here we go. To the middle of the field, Litzy Corona taps it to Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez runs into a defender. Rebecca Mercado steps up to make the play. Here's Bonilla. Bonilla's pass is intercepted by the Fighting Saints. Shar taps it back. Jakubiak back over to Giallo, and the Saints, as they did just a few moments ago, play it from the defensive end. Set it up slowly on the attack. Just passing back and forth. Surveying the field in front of them. Now Claudia Hernandez is forced off the ball by Bembenek, but back to Grace Giallo, who keeps it alive for the Fighting Saints. Giallo sends it through 2 defenders, but she also gets it past her offensive target as well, trying to get that pass to Allison Shar. It goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Saints once again halted around midfield and back to the defense. A lot of the first 4 minutes of this second half have been played from the St. Francis defense. There are 4 defenders plus a couple of midfielders. Passing it back and forth, just making sure to hold possession. Claudia Hernandez, that time stopped, but the Saints get it back. Hernandez has it again. Across midfield, taken away by Mercado. Bembenek and Salgado go at it, and Bembenek knocks it out. Second time this half that Salgado has been able to knock the ball off of Brianna Bembenek. Keep possession for St. Francis. Mariquin Ahead to Litzy Mendez. Now Mendez goes on a run. Mendez down towards that back line, working against Bonilla. Pass back to Mariquin. Mariquin has the cross. There's the header towards the far sideline. Shar couldn't direct that towards the net. It goes out of bounds on the far side for a throw-in. Very nice setup. Litzy Mendez did a good job of holding on to possession for the Fighting Saints and giving it to Alexis Mariquin. Good looking cross from Mariquin, but Shar just slightly mistimed the header and sent it out of bounds. Saints will try again here. This is Jakubiak stepping up from the defense, and Jakubiak's pass is intercepted by Bembenek. Here's Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez taps it ahead to Mendez. Litzy Mendez slows it down over to her right. This is Shar. Allison Shar cuts it back to the middle of the field. Natalie Salgado undefended on the near sideline, but Salgado mistimed the first touch, and that slows things down for the Fighting Saints, halting their run towards the net. They send it back to the defensive side, and they'll control it from there again. So after the first half of the game was pretty even between the two sides, we're 6 minutes into the second half, and of those 6 minutes, St. Francis has dominated possession. However, they haven't been able to do anything with that possession. Now Natalie Salgado will try to change that. A good challenge on Mercado. Now Salgado passes to Shar in the middle of the field. Shar takes a long-range shot, and Eden Suda makes a pretty easy save. That shot from more than 35 yards out from Allison Shar, and just could not get enough on it to challenge Eden Suda, who makes a pretty easy save. Sophomore goalkeeper from Lyons Township High School sends it off across midfield. Mostly Chicago area natives on this Governor State team. Governor State is located in Chicago. Pushed out of bounds by Naomi Gallardo. Saints toss it in again. Gallardo again taps it out. And this ball goes out the back line for a goal kick. Just over 7 minutes have gone by in the second half. So far, very similar to the first half. Good defense on both sides. This half, the time of possession certainly has favored St. Francis. They've controlled the ball a lot, but on the defensive end more than anything. So they've played a very conservative half so far. Governor State trying to not be so conservative here as Zoe Langlois makes her way forward. Langlois has it knocked away kind of from behind by Natalie Salgado. Salgado got in her way. I don't know if she actually deflected that ball, but she certainly contributed to a weak pass, and Emily Galvin was able to take it away for the Saints. Now on the other end, it's Alexis Mariquin. A little bit behind Shar, but Char's able to make the play on that pass, tapped ahead. I think she was trying to find Mariquin again. Mariquin didn't make the run. And so Char's pass is intercepted by Governor State, and the Jaguars can't control it as the ball goes out of bounds. Far sideline throw in here for the Fighting Saints. In towards Litzy Corona, who has, for the most part, been stifled today by this Governor State defense. But that's been true of offensive players for both sides. Daisy Bonilla, Anissa Pazmino, and Avery Damjanovic are the three leading scorers for Governor State this year, the only three players on the team with more than one goal. Bonilla leads the way with 4, Pazmino's got 3. Damjanovic has 2, and none of them, save for maybe Damjanovic, have had any offensive impact in this game. This is Damjanovic right now, passing off to her left on the far sideline. Good ball work by Jillian Basili. Basili tries to move it into the middle of the field, and the Saints are there to stop that attack. On the Saints side, Litzy Corona has 11 goals. She's been largely absent from the action today. Allison Shar is second on the team with 5. She's been more involved. She's taken a couple of shots, but they haven't gone anywhere. Anissa Pazmino checks back in for Governor State right now as Damjanovic heads to the bench for a few minutes. Sent down towards the corner. Langlois is able to get there first, but it's knocked out of bounds by Salgado. Zoe Langlois gets the throw in front of the net. Played on a hop by Yadira Estrada. Estrada inserts herself into the action. Makes the play and punts it away. Just over 10 minutes now into the second half. Fighting Saints, who came in averaging 5 goals a game, have had a tough time scoring today. Mentioned before, though, the vast majority of those goals have come in 3 games. They've played 7 games this year. And so far, 83% of their goals have come in 3 of those 7. Here's Claudia Hernandez. Alexis Mariquin ahead looking for Litzy Mendez, but Bravo gets there first. Bravo taps it back to Eden Suda, and Suda is able to clear it from the goalkeeper's position. Here's a nice stop by Emily Galvin. Governor State gets it back. Big kick by Bonilla. Headed the other way by Kelly Piotrowski. Governor State at midfield, working their way forward. Long shot deflected by Piotrowski. That goes nowhere from Mercado. Allison Shar now in control for the Fighting Saints. Passed off to Natalie Salgado on the near side. Salgado down across midfield, looking for Litzy Mendez. Nearly got Litzy Corona instead. Corona couldn't get there in time. But she was offsides anyway. So Corona was offsides. That means that Governor State gets the free kick. The ball went out of bounds off of Governor State, so everybody was setting up for a St. Francis throw-in down in the attacking side of the field. Instead, it's the Governor State free kick right here. And they get an opportunity to clear it without any contest from St. Francis. Over the head of Shar, past the leg of Langlois, and it finds its way in possession of the St. Francis defense. Governor State takes it back, trying to set this up from the far side of the field. Down to the middle, tapped away by Valencia Corona, and off to the sideline, rather Galvin off to the sideline. Here's Salgado, back over to Galvin. Now Alexis Mariquin. Mariquin is pushed to the turf, and a foul is called. Foul called on Daisy Bonilla. A physical foul on Bonilla. A few dirty looks shot between the teams after that. The referee came over to make sure that nothing untoward was going to happen, and everything seems to be all right. Free kick here for Kelly Piotrowski. Down the sideline, Mariquin gives it a run, but it's over her head and out of bounds on one hop. But knocked right back out by Governor State. So here's a throw in for Salgado. Salgado down the sideline, deflected back by Gallardo, and Bonilla clears it across midfield. Piotrowski taps it off to Galvin, and the Saints will try again. Emily Galvin to Natalie Salgado, and out of bounds. Ante Chope right on top of that one. The third-year head coach of Governor State. Governor State has built up their program here pretty quickly and done a good job of it. They're 3-5 overall this year. Got off to a bad start, losing 5 of their first 6 games, but they're on a roll. Back-to-back shutouts coming into play today and looking for a third consecutive. They're more than halfway there. So it has been over 4 hours of game time since the last time they allowed a goal. Lauren Pekulski is back in for St. Francis after she finished up in the last 10 minutes or so of the first half. She's out there for the first time in the second half. So Gatto hits it out of bounds. We're about a third of the way through this second half. With a half hour to play in this game, still searching for a goal on both sides. Plenty of time to get them. And we've seen, even in very recent games, goals coming in a flurry after long droughts. Foul called against St. Francis here. Free kick coming up for Governor State. Just shy of midfield, dead center here. Kick will be taken by Ursula Bravo. The senior defender sends it on a low line straight down the middle. Tapped off to the right. Here's a long shot from Mercado, and that sails well over the net and out of bounds. Rebecca Mercado tried her hand at it. Nothing doing. So the second time this half we've seen a long-range shot from Mercado. Mercado entering play today had only taken 6 shots all season. Less than 1 per game. So the fact that she has forced these few in this half might speak more to the game situation than anything, because they've both been from way outside. I think she's just trying to force something to happen in a game in which very little has so far. St. Francis has taken the opposite approach. Governor State maybe taking shots that are out of their range. The Saints have not taken as many shots here lately. They're just trying to set something up. So far, there hasn't been anything to set up, but they'll keep working at it, holding on to possession. High passing percentage against a very tough Governor State defense, which has not allowed them to get close to the net and get any good shots off in a while. Here's Shar chipping it into the box. Litzy Mendez on the run, forced off the ball by 2 defenders. Now it's loose in front of the goal and sent out of bounds by Governor State. Mercado did the only thing she could do right there in sending it out the back line. So here's a corner kick from USF. Shar has the ball set for the corner. St. Francis trying to break a scoreless tie, starting to get late. In front of the net, tapped by Pekulski and cleared by Governor State. Salgado tries to get it back into the attacking third for St. Francis, but can't do it. Instead, it's taken away by Governor State and Anissa Pazmino. Down towards the sideline and out of bounds. St. Francis will get to reverse field once again here. So Governor State tried for a quick counterattack after the missed opportunity on the corner kick for St. Francis. And it did not work out. Little run for Pazmino. Looked good at first. Ended up stopping pretty quickly. So the Fighting Saints are going back down the sideline, back across midfield. In off the foot of Allison Shar and tapped off of her out of bounds. Last touch by Governor State. Another throw in into a sea of orange. The Saints hold possession for the moment. Shar tries to keep it alive. Back to Pekulski. Knocked up into the air by Jillian Basili towards the sideline. Still inbounds, and the Jaguars are able to get it to the other side. Here's Grace Giallo. Grace Giallo back to Yadira Estrada, and Estrada reverses field, coming towards us now. Good ball from Galvin to Natalie Salgado. Salgado dribbles uncontested across midfield, now picked up by Mercado. She rolls it in between Shar and Mariquin, and nobody there to play it for St. Francis, so Suda lets it come to a stop in the box. And now, amidst a little bit of light pressure, she picks it up. Cross midfield, Kelly Pietrowski off to Mariquin on her left. Mariquin works around Eileen Gallardo. In the middle to Litzy Mendez. Mendez off on the right side finds Pekulski. Pekulski tries to cross it, deflected out of bounds. We'll get a throw in. Well defended by Kara Graham. And it looks like we got one off the hand of a St. Francis attacker. And the Fighting Saints are thwarted again down on this side of the field. Neither defense was poor in the first half, but they have not allowed anything in the second half. We have scarcely seen a scoring chance for either side. Both teams trying to turn that around and get just one on the board. Maybe a chance here for Governor's State. Long run, and the shot goes a little bit wide. Yadira Estrada picks it up on a couple of hops. Bonilla tried to make something happen there. Didn't work out. Big takeaway for Gallardo. Gallardo is tackled by Emily Galvin. A clean play by Galvin. No whistle. Nice play defensively by Galvin, but now there is a foul called on Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez trips up Daisy Bonilla. So we've got a free kick here for Governor State. This one will be from about 35 yards out, just to the right of dead center on the field. Trying to break a scoreless tie. It's Rebecca Mercado set to make this kick. Mercado puts it towards the net and over the net. So Mercado, even on the free kick, continues her trend of trying to go it alone. She's put 3 now towards the net from at least 30 yards out. That one a little bit more in rhythm, of course, on the set kick, but it was over Estrada's head, also over the crossbar. The goal kick is intercepted by Langlois back towards the box. Kelly Piotrowski heads it towards the sideline, deflected out of bounds by Governor State. St. Francis gets the throw in. Belongs to Natalie Salgado. Langlois in on the play, and Allison Shar is unable to clear it from her. Now the Saints do clear it off on the far side. Jakubiak rolls it out to midfield. Down towards the back line. Governor State doesn't let it roll. They play it instead. That's Gallardo. Eileen Gallardo. Natalie Salgado passes back to Emily Galvin. Galvin is quickly pressured. Governor State maybe turning up their speed a little bit here. They're not allowing St. Francis the easy passes on the defensive line. Quick pressure anytime anybody's been touching it lately. Mariquin's pass is intercepted by Eileen Gallardo. Into the middle of the field. Piotrowski knocks it loose. Off to Jakubiak. Bonilla worked off the ball. The Jaguars get it back. But Kelly Piotrowski steals it off the back line. Moves it forward off the foot of Shar into the middle of the field. That's Gallardo. Back to Suda. Suda didn't get a lot on that kick, but she found Langlois. And Langlois working against Natalie Salgado. Salgado wins that fight. Nice work by Natalie Salgado, forcing Zoe Langlois off the ball and getting possession back for St. Francis. Tapped at midfield. Over to Litzy Mendez. Mendez to the outside. Has Pekulski. Pekulski looking ahead for Shar. Sent it in front of her. Too far for her to make the run. It is out of bounds. And Governor State will bring Avery Damjanovic back in. Anissa Pazmino checks out. Pazmino had come in for Damjanovic a little while ago. Two of the top goal scorers for Governor State this year. They both started, but have not been on the field at the same time here in the second half. Let's see, Mendez to her right finds Jakubiak, and Jakubiak works it forward for the Fighting Saints. See if they can penetrate this tough Governor State defense. Allison Schar's pass intercepted by Gallardo. Eileen Gallardo across midfield, and Grace Giallo sends it right back the other way. Back in the possession of the Fighting Saints. This is Litzy Mendez. Mendez slows it down. Mendez is forced to the ground. Foul called on Daisy Bonilla. A rare foul called against Governor State. They haven't committed too many of them in this game. Litzy Corona has the ball set up for the free kick. Corona, who averages more than a goal per game from 40 yards out, sends this one right in front of the net where it's headed to the sideline and out of bounds. Throw in for St. Francis. Alexis Mariquin tosses into Natalie Salgado, trying to get it right back to Mariquin. It is knocked away by Langlois and out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Nice play by Zoe Langlois as the Saints tried to set up a little two-man game with Salgado and Mariquin. Langlois wasn't having any of it. Here's Galvin. Out beyond the defense, Ursula Bravo lets it go, and Suda nearly had some trouble with it. Litzy Corona kept the pressure on. It was in and out of the hands of Suda, but she did end up pulling it in. Now Alexis Mariquin knocks it off of Noemi Gallardo out of bounds. Mariquin gets the throw in. Finds the cutting Salgado working again against Langlois. Good battle between those two here in the second half. Litzy Mendez can't control it, taken away from her. Governor State comes back the other way with it. Here come the Jaguars on the run. Sent ahead down the middle of the field and halted by Grace Giallo. Giallo taps it towards the sideline and down that sideline. Keeps it in bounds. Governor State intercepts and now it goes out to the Jaguars. Just over 18 minutes to play in regulation here. But somebody needs to make a play to avoid overtime in this one, because it's been a while since we've seen anybody come close to getting a good shot off. Doesn't always take a good shot in a game like this. Sometimes it's just a fluke play that wins it. There's still plenty of time to get more than one goal on the board, but whoever scores first, assuming that it's somebody, is going to have an enormous advantage considering how well both of these defenses have played. Either side can put one in the back of the net. It'll feel pretty close to game over at that point, even though, again, there's a lot of time still to go. Now down to 17.5 minutes. At midfield, knocked out of bounds by the Saints. Tossed in and deflected right back out. Another throw-in coming up for Governor State. Jillian Basili tosses it in towards the middle. Knocked back to midfield and taken away by Corona. Litzy Corona works her way back into the middle. She crosses field looking for Mariquin, and Mariquin is unable to control it. Trying to play that one off her chest, and she was unsuccessful. Headed by Langlois towards the sideline, out of bounds. And a substitute for St. Francis coming on. Looks like Claudia Hernandez is ready to check back in. And Litzy Mendez goes to grab a breather with 16.5 minutes to go. A collision at midfield between Hernandez and a Governor State player. Didn't see who the Jaguars player was, but she's down right now, slowly getting herself up. That was Rebecca Mercado. Mercado and Hernandez both went for that ball with their heads, and they got more of each other than they did the ball, but it looked like Mercado got the worst of it. Certainly she got the worst at the end of the play because she was knocked to the ground. Hernandez fell to the ground as well, but popped right back up. But Mercado, I think, was leading with the crown of the head there, and that's dangerous. Hernandez was as well, but I think it was more Mercado's head to Hernandez's shoulder. It looked like may have been the collision rather than head-to-head. But Mercado, anytime you see somebody get hit in the head and fall to the ground, is always a little bit scary. She was slow to get up, but not too slow. She was able to pull herself up without any help, and she's walking off to the sideline on her own. So she checks out for now. Let's see if she's back out there at some point later in the match. She doesn't appear to be too bad off right now. Taking her place in the lineup, Brenna Castillo. So Brenna Castillo comes on late in this one. Governor State looks for their first goal, but sends it out of bounds instead. Goal kick coming up for St. Francis. They have not had many goal kicks here in the second half. Neither team really has, which is usually an indication that the opposition hasn't put too much pressure on them. And that has been the case as a handball is called on Bonilla here. Not a lot of pressure on either goalkeeper so far in this second half. It really has been played around the middle of the field so far, that neutral third. Off of the handball, Governor State gets it back following the St. Francis free kick. Fighting Saints trying to get possession once again. Jakubiak is able to force Governor State to that ball out of bounds, so Jakubiak tosses it in. Into Shar. Shar's tripped up. She gets herself right back up as play continues. Deflected into the midfield circle. Tap back for Governor State. That ball won by the Fighting Saints and lost right back to Governor State. Pietrowski back over to Yadira Estrada, who steps out of the box to kick that ball downfield to Mariquin. Salgado tries to keep it in and can't. The throw in for Langlois is deflected back by the Fighting Saints. Salgado is grabbed and a free kick for St. Francis on the foul that went against Avery Damjanovic. Just tugged a little bit from behind there. What went for the foul call. Into the box and picked up again by Yadira Estrada. Not much on that attack from Governor State. Estrada punts it across midfield. It bounces a couple of times towards the sideline. Knocked out of bounds by the Jaguars. Pokulski tosses it in. Pokulski takes the kick into the box, and it bounces into the hands of Suda. That's what we've seen these last few minutes. Anytime anybody's been able to get anything resembling a shot off, it's bounced harmlessly into the goalkeeper's hands. This has been a really evenly matched game so far. Out of bounds on St. Francis. Neither team has seemed to have much hope at all of scoring. Both defenses have been spectacular. Into the box and knocked away by St. Francis. Out of bounds again. It'll be a Governor State throw-in. This one for Langlois. Langlois throws it into the box. Cleared again by St. Francis. Deflected by Shar out of the box. And now Claudia Hernandez starts to make a run. Sent off to Pokulski. Do the Saints have anything in front of them? Litzy Corona will try to chase this one down. Corona can't get there. It's knocked out of bounds instead by Kara Graham. Tossed in off of Corona that time, back out of bounds. So Governor State throw in. Graham down the far side of the field. Deflected back into the midfield circle. Salgado pushes it high into the air. One bounce past Allison Shar. Bravo plays it. Ursula Bravo turns to her right and now turns it upfield. Bravo's got some players out in front of her looking to make a run. Bravo rolls it right out in front, and she had three offensive players, one to the left, one to the right, one right in front of her, but she ended up mishitting it and sending the ball instead right to Kelly Pietrowski. There's the collision and a foul called on Alexis Mariquin, who got her legs tied up with Naomi Gallardo. So Mariquin is called for the foul and a free kick from just shy of midfield here for Governor State. Bravo sends it to the edge of the box, deflected away by Galvin. Now a chance on a shot for Governor State, And an easy stop again for Yadira Estrada. That may have been the best shot we've seen from either team in this second half. And it was an easy save for Estrada. This is an easy play for Estrada as well, as it's passed to her by her own teammate Claudia Hernandez. Deflected at midfield by Governor State. Kelly Piotrowski wins that challenge for the ball. Piotrowski turns it upfield. And now she works her way across midfield. She's got some help out in front of her. Looking to get it back towards the middle. She cuts in across Daisy Bonilla. Passes off to Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez sets it up now to Allison Shar. Shar working against Ursula Bravo. Governor State's defense has done a good job of slowing down the momentum, but St. Francis still in possession. Mariquin's cross is headed away. Back to Claudia Hernandez, though. Another chance for Hernandez. And Hernandez is forced off the ball. Very nice defensive play. Sent into the box, and Suda steps in to make the stop. Well defended by Governor State all the way through there. Hunter Ledesma made the initial stop on Allison Shar, and that's what really slowed down St. Francis's attack. So a good play by Ledesma and the rest of the Jaguars defense. We remain scoreless now in the final 10 minutes of regulation time. Here comes Jakubiak. Jakubiak trying to hook up with Hernandez, deflected away from her. Here comes the run from Basili. Jillian Basili takes the shot, and that's well wide to the right. It's a goal kick. Subs coming in for both sides. Litzy Mendez back on the field for St. Francis. Governor State pulls Hunter Ledesma out and brings Anissa Pazmino back in. One freshman spelling the other. Knocked out of bounds by Naomi Gallardo. Gallardo steps in again, tries to keep it inbounds, and does. And she works around Litzy Mendez, but nobody out in front of her. Instead, it's Kelly Piotrowski playing that back to Yadira Estrada. Estrada looks to her right and passes in that direction. Kicking it straight out of bounds. Governor State will get a throw in here. Tossed in, it bounces towards the back line, and Estrada is once again there to pick it up. Saints are running out of time here to get this win in regulation, as of course are the Jaguars, but St. Francis is on the attack right now as Governor State turns it back to midfield. Claudia Hernandez makes a run on it, gets the first touch across midfield, but the Jaguars get it back. Good interception by Kelly Piotrowski. Galvin taps it ahead to Hernandez. Here come the Saints once again. Jakubiak back over to Estrada, and Estrada reverses field to Emily Galvin. Galvin passes between two defenders to Litzy Mendez. Good pass from Mendez to Hernandez. Hernandez's pass is deflected and cleared by Bravo. Bravo's ball bounces towards the box. Estrada has to wait back on it, and she makes the catch on a couple of hops. Here's Jakubiak to Allison Shar. Shar controls it off the first touch. She turns to her left and finds Litzy Mendez. Mendez not able to control it off the first touch after she receives the pass. Here comes Daisy Bonilla the other way. Hits it right off the leg of Emily Galvin. Now Mendez into the middle to Hernandez. Hernandez's pass intercepted by Daisy Bonilla. Good defense by Bonilla there, but Hernandez gets her right back with a good defensive play of her own. Just 6.5 minutes to play here. Saints turning up the pressure just a little bit. Before the throw-in can come, we've got some substitutions. Haley Bartlaga is back in for St. Francis. Rebecca Mercado back on the field for Governor State. So that's good to see. She left after that collision a few minutes ago. She hit her head against Claudia Hernandez. So it's good to see her able to get back on the field so quickly. Schlitzie Corona, her pass is deflected out of bounds. Throw in coming from the corner for the Fighting Saints. Alexis Mariquin tosses it in down low to Allison Shar. Shar is worked off the ball by Gallardo. And Gallardo is able to send it down the sideline out of bounds. Mariquin tosses it right back into Corona. Corona turns, works her way around a defender. Now another one steps in. In fact, it's the same one, Brianna Bembenek. Bembenek takes it away. Foul called on St. Francis. So a once promising attack halted again by the Governor State defense. Shar, long run to get to that ball, knocked off of Mercado out of bounds. Throw in for the Saints. That bounces over the back line, but Piotrowski is there. And to Emily Galvin. Galvin pushes it back into the middle. This is Grace Giallo turning to her right, forcing it off to the far side as they reverse field. Pekalski, pass deflected. Pekalski tries again. Deflected again. Back into the midfield circle. And this time a deflection for St. Francis. Ahead to Corona. Corona's got Mariquin to her left. She tries to pull it back. Now passes to Mariquin. One touch over to Litzy Mendez. Mariquin tries again. The cross in front of the net. Bartlaga chases it down, and she is stopped. Good defense by Governor State. Kelly Piotrowski heads it back across midfield. Claudia Hernandez not able to win that battle with Daisy Bonilla. Bonilla rolls it ahead to Langlois. Tap back to Langlois. She runs into two defenders, falls to the ground, no whistle. Governor State back at it. Bonilla too far to her right. She misses her intended target and kicks it out of bounds. Throw in for St. Francis into Litzy Mendez. Good challenge from Eileen Gallardo. And Bravo clears it. Sent back to midfield. St. Francis in possession with 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. This is Allison Shar. Shar tries to weave it through to Alexis Mariquin and can't do it. All the way back on the St. Francis side once again, Yadira Estrada is there to pick up that loose ball. And she punts it away. In midfield, that's Mercado. Mercado pushes it over Shar off the head of Langlois. There's a run for Bonilla. Bonilla around a couple of defenders. Piotrowski steps in, knocks it away. On the deflection, a chance on the back end. The header is deflected and cleared by St. Francis. The best chance there came from Anissa Pazmino. She mishit it. Even after her mishit, there was an opportunity on the back end, but the Saints were able to come up with a stop. Now the clock stops at 2 minutes and 24 seconds as there's an injured player down for Governor State. That is Daisy Bonilla, who is down on her knees on the right side of the field. And so a brief delay here to tend to this injury. Very late in regulation, we still have no score between St. Francis and Governor State. Few chances for both teams early in the match, but not much brewing really since then. It has been sensational defense on both sides pretty much the whole way through this match. Saints huddle up on the field. Governor State goes back to their sideline. Most of them grab a drink of water. It is a cool night, seasonably cool. Temperature was up in the mid-70s today, but as the sun set just before the start of our game today, things have cooled off a little bit. There's a chilly breeze blowing across field towards us. Bonilla walks herself off the field. She gets a hand from the crowd as she'll sit down for a minute, but doesn't appear to be in too much pain right now. Back on the sideline. So we'll get back to the action here, such as it is. With just under 2.5 minutes to go before we have to see overtime if neither team can score. Jillian Basili will offer the throw-in. Headed away immediately, but right back to Mercado, and her shot sails over the net. Mercado obviously has a lot of strength in her right leg. She's taken a lot of long-range shots. None of them have been particularly close. They've all gone too strong. So Estrada kicks this ball off from the box. Back into the attacking zone for St. Francis. Can they gain possession, though? Mendez knocks it out of bounds. Thrown back in along the sideline. Pazmino able to play it in front of Emily Galvin. Back to Anissa Pazmino. Pazmino tries to set up a shot. Lauren Pekulski gets in her way. Good defense by Pekulski. And sent down the sideline for the Saints. Battle for the ball at midfield, won by Governor State. With just over a minute to play, Governor State tries to cross it to no avail. Taken back by the Jaguars, though, at midfield, and a missed touch. They lose possession. Here comes Allison Schar. Schar sends it downfield where Ursula Bravo is there to make the interception. Claudia Hernandez back for the Saints. Off to Alexis Mariquin on the near side. Mariquin down into the box. There's a shot that'll trickle wide to the left. Good defense. Trying to set up Litzy Corona. But there were 3 defenders there, and I think that was Naomi Gallardo, or rather Eileen Gallardo, who ended up making the play on it. So good play by Gallardo. A handball against Governor State with 30 seconds left. St. Francis will have one more opportunity to score in regulation here. They just had maybe their best chance of the whole second half, stopped by Gallardo. Litzy Corona tried to make a play. This time Corona will take the free kick from 40 yards out. Corona takes the kick, puts it on goal, and it's saved by Suda. And that will end regulation effectively with just 5 seconds left. The clock runs down, and we end this one in a tie. So nothing after 90 minutes of play between St. Francis and Governor State, and we'll move on to overtime as the Fighting Saints had 2 opportunities there in the final minute to do something that neither team has been able to do all game, and Suda ends up making the save in the final few seconds. So I'll take a quick break here, but back in just about a minute with overtime action here between St. Francis and Governor State. We've had a good one going here on the USF Sports Network. 90 minutes of soccer in the books and no score on the board between St. Francis and Governor State. So we'll play at least a few minutes more. Next goal is going to win this one. St. Francis has just one loss this year, and it was by a 1-0 score. If they end up taking their second loss of the season today, it will be by the same score, but they're still hoping to pull out the win here. They have flipped sides for the first overtime period. Play a maximum of 2. St. Francis now going from left to right once again, as they did in the first half, and Governor State going from right to left as they did in the first half. So we'll get started in just a moment with Governor State getting the first kick here in the overtime session. Neither team really has come all that close to getting on the board up to this point. It has been a defense-dominated game. Neither goalkeeper has had to work too hard. Maybe the closest the Saints have come all day to scoring came in the final minute. They had 2 chances in that last minute. One of them on a ball in play, a good defensive play made on a run from Litzy Corona that just prevented her from getting a good shot off. Here comes Governor State right at the start of the overtime period, and stopped by the St. Francis defense. There's a little push in the back and a foul call on the Jaguars. After that first run didn't work out for St. Francis in the final minute, they had another chance off of a handball. Free kick from 40 yards out. Litzy Corona tried to put it straight on goal, and Eden Suda made a relatively routine save. Down on the far side, a run for Langlois, and Kelly Piotrowski taps it out of bounds. Throw-in coming up for Governor State from the far sideline, deep into St. Francis territory. Langlois throws it in front of the net, headed away by Emily Galvin. It bounces high into the air along the sideline, played by Governor State down to the corner. And as it goes out the back line, or near that back line, it's going to be a corner kick for the Jaguars. So another big chance here for Governor State. They've had a few of them on corner kicks. Their best chances came on corners in the first half. Now Rebecca Mercado sets this one up for a corner kick here in the first overtime. A header over the net. That was Anissa Pazmino off the corner kick from Rebecca Mercado, trying to head it in past Yadira Estrada, but she heads it straight over the net. And the Saints dodge a bullet there. We remain scoreless nearly 2 minutes into overtime. Hit out of bounds. Throw in coming up for USF across midfield. It is Jakubiak tossing it in. Pushed right back out of bounds by Governor State. So now the Saints, for the first time in overtime, have found their way into the attacking third of the field. And they'll move even further down on another header out of bounds by Governor State. Jakubiak turns her attention towards the middle. It's deflected away by Governor State and knocked out again. Thrown in towards the back. This is Pakulski. Can't quite reach it. She stretched out to try to gain possession of that ball and is just out of her reach. She tripped over the edge of the ball as it trickled away from her. Governor State downfield. Jakubiak is there to make the stop. And that goes out the backside for a goal kick. Jakubiak working against Jillian Basili there. Here's Basili again. Basili's pass deflected by Grace Giallo. Lauren Pakulski can't quite reach it. Here's Allison Shar. Off to Jakubiak. Now the middle of the field. Litzy Mendez off to Litzy Corona. Corona has a nice touch. Now she's got a little bit of a run. Corona into the box, takes the shot and misses it wide. And over the net as well, out of bounds. Great run from Litzy Corona. And that, I would say, by far was the best scoring chance that either team has had today. From one of the leading goal scorers in the nation. Just not quite able to straighten that one out. Great run from Corona, who's got excellent speed. And for the most part, outran that Governor State defense, but they stayed in her peripheral vision enough to make it a difficult shot for her. And we're still scoreless, nearly halfway through this first overtime. Sent down into the box. Piotrowski gets there first, heads it towards the corner, and out of bounds for a corner kick. Avery Damjanovic is coming back in for Brianna Bembenek for Governor State. So an extra goal scorer in there as the corner kick is sent away. Front post headed wide of the net. I think that was Bravo who got her head on it. Couldn't tell for sure. But a little bit too close to the front post. And went straight out as St. Francis misplays the goal kick. Estrada sent it out too far in front of Salgado. Salgado knocks it out of bounds. So Governor State is able to keep the possession here. Tossed in by Basili and headed back the other direction. Mercado runs into two defenders, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Saints. Claudia Hernandez, the last one to touch that ball. Here's the throw in from Basili. Pushed by Brenna Castillo into the middle of the field, but the Saints are able to corral that one and clear it. Back towards midfield. They'll set it up from the defensive end. Here's Claudia Hernandez. Hernandez to the outside, finds Natalie Salgado. Salgado works her way down the middle of the field. She's got help in front of her. Finds Allison Shar. Shar knocks it ahead into the box. Here's a shot, and there's the game. St. Francis scores in overtime. And they defeat Governor State by a 1-0 final. Litzy Mendez able to put in the winner. With 3:41 on the clock, 6 minutes and 19 seconds into overtime. Allison Shar, nice ball ahead to Litzy Mendez, and a great finish from Mendez as St. Francis wins their second in a row. They improved to 7-1 overall this season, and now have 12 points in the conference standings as they improve to 4-1 in CCAC play. In their 8th game of the year, the Saints pick up their 8th shutout, and this one not an easy one to pull off against a plucky Governor State team who hung in there for a long time, and they made them go beyond the 90 minutes before St. Francis finally puts an end to it. Litzy Mendez scores her 3rd goal of the season, the 8th assist of the year from Allison Shar. She gave her a really nice pass to set that one up. And the overtime period, which ends up lasting just a shade over 6 minutes, ends up featuring more action, I think, than the entire second half, if not the entire 90 minutes in terms of scoring chances for both sides. Some big shots, some big defensive plays, and in the end, it was an offensive play that wraps this one up in St. Francis's favor. So after 90 scoreless minutes, the Saints win this one in overtime. Final score 1-0. Again, the win makes them 7-1 overall. They improve to 4-1 in conference play, and they pick up their 6th shutout victory of the season. Governor State falls to 3-6 overall. They drop to 2-4 in conference play, and even though they held St. Francis scoreless for 90 minutes today, their shutout streak ends at 2 games. Couldn't quite make it the distance in the 3rd, but a good performance by Governor State, just slightly outdone by St. Francis in the end. A good win for St. Francis tonight. Now they head on the road for the next couple. They are out of town until October 9th, their next home game, and we'll have that broadcast for you here on Saturday, October 9th. They'll try to take care of business in 2 games on the road before that. But that'll do it for today's game and today's broadcast. St. Francis defeats Governor State by a final score of 1-0. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Have a good night.